She's working on 3 things right now: herself, her life, her happiness. She is me.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. The summer season is slowly coming to a close, and although I love who I am in the summer, I love being social in the summer, I love being outside, I love the glow that I have and the confidence that I have in the summer, something about the fall just brings out a different version of myself, and I feel like the fall is where I experience the most growth. And I think it's because the fall season is a time where we are all moving inwards. We start to get a little cozier. We start to pay a little bit more attention to our mindset again. We start paying a little bit more attention to the goals that we set, tying up any loose ends. But this is a time where you're able to tap into the person you want to be in 2025 with ease and grace. And you're not expected to just jump full force into these new habits. You're able to take your time and ease into the best version of yourself. So in this video, I want to share some tips on how to become the best version of yourself in the fall before 2025. Because if you have been wanting to start, there's no better time than to start than now. We're going to be talking all things becoming our best selves, becoming unrecognizable, rebranding ourselves, and having a nice little hard launch in 2025. So the first thing I want to talk about is planting the seeds of success right now. We have 4 months left of the year, and you might be thinking to yourself, I am going to continue on with who I am right now, and then once January 1st hits, I'm just going to catapult into the new version of myself. That might not be a bad idea in hindsight, but if you continue on with who you are right now in this plateau, just being lukewarm with your goals, lukewarm with the person that you want to become, January 1st is going to come. You're going to get a lot of energy. You're going to hit a spike in your momentum, but it's going to be really, really hard for you to maintain that. Around January 7th, that momentum is going to dwindle all the way back down. But if you start planting the seeds of success right now before 2025, you're going to see little sprouts of growth within yourself. So you're going to see a nice little sprout and growth within the next couple of weeks. You're going to plant a few more seeds, and then you're going to grow a little bit more. And you're going to see an upward trend until 2025 hits. And when that new year hits, you're going to still get that burst of energy that we all get on January 1st, except it's going to catapult you up even further. You're only going to experience a slight decline. But when you look back to where you started, you're going to see that you have experienced so much growth in the last 4 months, and you're less likely to revert back to your old ways. Last year, I started planting little seeds for myself. I decided to tap into the 75 Soft challenge. And with 75 Soft, I was able to incorporate habits into my already existing routine, sustainable habits at that. I started planting the seeds early on, because I know myself. I know how excited I get January 1st, but I also know how easy it is for me to slip away from those habits that I've set for myself in the beginning of the year. Janet in September of 2023 and Janet in January of 2024 were a night and day difference. It's essentially setting yourself up for success. You're not putting too much on your plate too fast to the point where it overwhelms you and makes you feel as though you're not capable of doing more. Ease into things. Plant little seeds here until the end of the year. So once the new year hits, you're already 10 steps ahead. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is understanding the long game. Most successful people understand the long game, or they play the long game. It's understanding that good things in your life take time. It's understanding that nothing worth having comes easy. And knowing that you might go to the gym today, tomorrow, the next day, and not see any results, but that's okay, because you know over time, in the next few months, that you are going to be a completely different person. It's not seeking that instant gratification that we're all so addicted to, especially in this day and age with social media. In this day and age, it's just really hard to want to wait and see the results over time. But the most successful people understand that it takes time, and they're willing to put in the work day after day after day until they get there. Your success is a sum of all the times that you show up for yourself. You are showing up for yourself more times than not. Okay? And you're not dwelling on the amount of times that you don't show up for yourself. You're not letting the moments of weakness completely take you off the path of success. Consistency does not mean that you are showing up at 100% every single day. Consistency means that you are showing up for yourself more times than not. Okay, so one day it might be 100%, the next day it might be 50, and then the next day it might be 80%, and the next day it might be 30. But the next day or the next 3 days it's at 100% straight for 3 days, and then after that you go back down to 0%. But when you look at the bigger picture, right? When you look at that over a year, there is going to be so much progress at the end of it, no matter what. That is understanding the long game, and that is playing the long game. I'm going to share with you a quote that I've been obsessed with ever since I heard it on TikTok. Excuses will make today easy for you, but it'll end up making tomorrow hard. However, having discipline might mean today being hard, but your days following being easier. And you can interpret that however you want to interpret it, because nothing ever really is easy, right? However, having discipline and showing up for yourself more times than not is going to make your life a lot easier. So you decide to start doing 12-3-30 on the treadmill because you saw it on TikTok. It's a fun little trend. It's a fun workout trend that people are actually seeing results with. You step on the treadmill and you realize that just walking at a 2.3 speed is having you feel overwhelmed and you can't even finish out the first 10 minutes. You're not at the 12-3-30 mark yet, but you're going to get there, okay? You're going to get there. You just have to keep showing up. I know for me personally, okay, a year ago, that was my experience. I would step on the treadmill and I would get overwhelmed at a 2.3, 2.4 speed. At the time, it felt really embarrassing, but now I look back on that girl. I remember what I thought to myself in that moment. I thought to myself, Janet, it might be hard today, but in a year, it's not going to. Eventually, you're going to be able to walk at a 3.0 speed. You're going to get there. And where am I now? I'm walking at a 3.0 speed. Now, that 12 incline, y'all can keep it, okay? I'm a little too short for the 12 incline, okay? My little legs cannot keep up. But I'm up there with y'all, okay? I'm at a 10 incline. I can get up to an 8 to 10 incline easy. Had I given up a year ago when I was getting overwhelmed walking at a 2.4 speed, I would not be where I am today. Keep showing up for yourself, no matter what level that you're at, because you will get better. Some of us, and I say this with so much love, some of us think a little too small, okay? You need to be thinking big. Your mindset should not only be worried about the summer. You need to have your eye on the prize for the future and what that's going to do for you and your future self. You know, there's a few former athletes in my comment section. That's just the way we're raised. You know that showing up time and time and time and working hard and working towards your goals is going to yield results. So you keep showing up, right? This time last year, I started playing tennis. I showed up to the court for the first time, could barely hit the ball. I knew none of what tennis was about. Now, when I play tennis, I am so much stronger, okay? And the thing is, I don't even show up weekly. I show up maybe every other week. Now I feel a lot more confident when playing, and it's just because I kept showing up. You have to keep showing up for yourself. You just have to understand that there is a long game when it comes to this process, but you just have to keep playing it. And you're going to see progress. You're going to become who you want to be. In a recent vlog, I spoke a little bit about consistency and how I have remained consistent for the last year. And one thing that has helped me so much with playing the long game is being mindless with my routine, is not giving myself enough time to talk myself out of working out. It's not giving myself enough time to talk myself out of making a healthy dinner for myself. I am so mindless with my routine at this point because I just don't think it's beneficial to cave into my emotions every single time I feel like not doing something that's going to be beneficial for me. And I am a huge advocate for grace, but I do not give myself grace all of the time. I think about how I'm going to feel after the workout. I don't think about how I'm feeling before the workout. I don't even give myself enough time to talk myself out of it. I don't give myself enough time to think up negative emotions about working out. You aren't always going to feel 100% all the time, but it's picking and choosing when to actually ease into that grace and give yourself grace, and when to be like, hey girl, I get you don't feel good, but we gotta get it done either way, right? We're gonna get it done either way. Especially after being a coach and having to inspire teenagers day in and day out to commit to the promise that they made for themselves and their teammates, having to explain to them that you're going to feel like you don't love this 100%. You're going to come in here and hate everybody in the room. But that does not mean that you make permanent decisions off of temporary feelings. That doesn't mean that you just quit because you're having a bad day and you just don't like everybody right now. You made a commitment to yourself. You made a commitment to me. You made a commitment to this program. So you show up. Okay, you show up when you don't want to. You show up when you do want to. You show up when you're happy. You show up when you're sad. You show up when you're going through things because you made a commitment to be here. No one is coming to save you but you. So you have to dig a little deeper whenever you are having emotions that are negative towards showing up for yourself and being healthier. And lastly, before I get into the actionable tips to becoming your best self, you need to understand that you're going to have to put in this work forever. Okay? It never ends. You're going to have to continuously put in the work to maintain that person, okay? Because if you let go of those habits, you will fall back to square one and you will find yourself in a place where you're having to start over again. And that is not fun. And I don't want that for you because I've experienced that year after year after year. And this past year, I said enough. We are no longer yo-yo dieting. We are no longer gaining weight and losing weight and gaining weight and losing weight and going back to square one. We're not doing it anymore. Maintenance is key. So you need to make sure that you realize that those habits that you're saying goodbye to, you're saying goodbye to them forever. Because you no longer want to be in this cycle of starting and stopping and starting over and stopping and starting over and stopping. Say goodbye to the old you because she is gone. Mourning your old lifestyle is hard, but moving into a lifestyle where you're more balanced, there's nothing better than it. There's nothing better than it. I honestly am at a place in my life where, unfortunately, the overindulgent foods do nothing for me. They make me feel awful. I used to crave it so badly, but now it does not make me feel good at all. And the thing is, like, as you grow in this journey, you start to crave less of the junk, which is sad because the junk just does not even make you feel good anymore. You just don't even want it. It honestly, like, your body rejects it, which is so sad. You're building a new life with new habits and new routines. And this new version of you is going to thrive. Maintenance is key. So remember, you're going to have to maintain this new person. One thing I don't talk a lot about is the damage that I did to my body prior to going on this journey. The girl that I was a year ago, I try to talk about her with less judgment, basically. I feel like I'm always super judgmental when I'm talking about myself in the past. But I am still to this day reversing a lot of the damage that I did to my body before. And one of the big things that I did was I destroyed my inner core, my deep inner core, my transverse abdominalis muscles. Like, I destroyed them so bad with my habits in the past, to the point where I am working day in and day out to restore my deep inner core. And I didn't realize how much work it would be, especially as I get older. I just did not realize how much work it would be to restore her. But I'm working day in and day out. I'm going to Legree, which has honestly changed the game for me. I've seen so much progress within my core muscles from going to Legree, but like, I still have a long ways to go. I'm weightlifting twice a week. I'm walking a lot. But I've already seen an improvement in my posture, which is a huge indication that your core is getting stronger. And I'm holding planks for a lot longer. I'm obviously trying to focus in on my diet, because the diet is number one. And I'm not talking about having visible abs and things like that. Like, yes, that's cool and all, but I am talking about working on my deep inner core, the strength within my core. I am working on her, and it's a journey and working towards maintaining her. So anyway, I got a little bit off tangent. Sorry. Let's talk about some actionable steps that you can take to become the best version of yourself this fall. Number one is choose a meal plan that you can stick to. You want to choose a meal plan that is sustainable, that you can actually sustain with your job, with your busy schedule, with your family, with your friends. You want to make sure that you choose a meal plan that makes sense with you and your lifestyle right now. That means that you're making like maybe a big batch of a meal twice a week, right? To where you can stretch it out for lunches and dinners throughout the week for work and whatnot, then you do that. If that means that you're leaning on some type of meal delivery service like HelloFresh, Factor, things like that, then do that. But you need to choose a meal plan that works for you and your lifestyle. I have several videos here on my channel with so many different recipes. I recently did a what I eat in a week video. Not recent, I guess it was like in April or May. I will put it in the cards above, where I showed a lot of different meals and a lot of just different meal inspo. So yeah, check that out. Watch my vlogs as well, because I share a lot of different recipes in my vlogs as well. Choose a meal plan that you can stick to, that is just sustainable. You don't want to do something that just doesn't work. Don't just cut out all carbs because it helps you lose weight, because I guarantee you, once you start to incorporate those carbs, you're going to gain the weight back. So do something that is sustainable for you. Number two, choose a workout plan that you can stick to at least 3 times a week. It's okay to push the limit and go 4 or 5 times a week. However, if you are just starting, okay, if you are starting from square one, don't over exhaust yourself, okay? Going to the gym 3 times a week is a great place to start. Some weeks you'll go 4 times, some weeks you'll go 5, 6, great. But start the goal off at 3 times a week. I promise you, you're going to build so much confidence within yourself going to the gym just 3 times a week to start. I promise it's going to help you be so successful within this journey. Even if those workouts are just like little walks, or just like a little ab circuit, or if it's Pilates, spin, whatever it is to keep you consistent, that's most important, okay? That is what's most important. And at the end of the month, obviously, reassess, see if you can increase that to 4 times a week for the next month, but just start with 3. I promise you, it'll make a big difference in your life when it comes to consistency. 3, commit to drinking at least 48 to 50 ounces of water daily, okay? If you're not drinking enough water right now, I think 48 ounces is a great place to start. That's about like 3 plastic water bottles. That's about a whole Stanley and a little bit more water after that. That's a great place to start, right? I like to drink at least 2 Stanleys a day, so that's about like 80 ounces of water a day. But I wasn't always there, okay? I was not always there. I started off at just 1 Stanley a day, which was about 40 ounces of water. So Commit to hitting at least 48 to 50 ounces of water a day to begin, and then obviously increase that as you start getting confident. The next one is start being more mindful with movement, okay? Walking is a game changer. So many people talk about it. Obviously, it's become so trendy, but for good reason. I just feel like whenever I took the time to take my stress levels from here to here, just be easy on my body, just let my body breathe, and just do movement that really just flowed a lot better with myself, that's when I started seeing changes. Okay, that's when I started to feel like my life was changing. So increasing your movement as much as possible is going to change the game for you, I promise. And the last thing I want to talk about is just bringing down your stress levels, your cortisol levels, okay? I know everybody talks so much about cortisol this, cortisol that, stress levels this, stress levels that, but it's true. For the longest time, I felt as though more was more. For the longest time, I just always felt like I was living in a constant state of stress. So I would do these crazy stress-inducing workouts thinking that they were going to change my body. And they did at one point, to be completely honest. Like, honestly, whenever I was going to these like heated boot camp classes that were so intense, where we were doing all these like crazy workouts, I looked amazing. I did. However, that is not a place to start, especially if you are just starting off in this journey to becoming your best self. That is not where you should start. The high intensity workouts are not where you should start. I highly recommend starting off with things that are going to help bring your stress levels down so you can focus in on what's most important. So if that means you are walking instead of running, that is great. If that means you're doing Legree or Pilates instead of HIIT workouts, then that is great. But bring your stress levels down so you can have just a clearer vision and a clear focus for what's most important. It might not make sense, but I promise you it's going to change the game for you. Once I just stop overcomplicating my workout schedule, my workout routine, I stopped being in a rush all the time, I was finally able to eat healthier. I was finally able to feel my emotions, feel the way my body was feeling. Like literally, truly, I was able to pay attention to my body. And I was able to make better decisions for myself from there. And that was because I started focusing in on my cortisol levels and lowering them and living a more peaceful life. Just being more peaceful in my everyday life. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you'll know that your girly was just like a high stress girly. Like I was bouncing off the walls 24/7. And although that's still kind of my personality, you know, I am still a girly that likes to have a good time, and I'm still really a high energy girly. My day-to-day life is a lot more calm and peaceful, and I'm just a lot more mindful and demure. And I have just been working on being able to feel my emotions, feel and understand why and what my body is doing, and go from there and make decisions from there. So that's gonna be it for this video. I hope this video was really helpful for you. I'm definitely gonna be making more videos like this coming up very soon. So definitely leave a comment down below if you resonated with any of this, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, Girl Scout. Bye. Thank you so much for joining me.